Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our briefing session. We are going to start with the current agenda for this evening with Mr. Jones.
What's my name?
What's my name?
What's my name? Roll call first.
And we'll do roll call. Ms. Pfister.
Council President Wilkerson.
Present.
Councilmember Zappone.
Here.
Councilmember Cathcart.
Present.
Councilmember Bingle.
Here.
Councilmember Dillon.
Here.
Councilmember Navarrete. Here. Let the record reflect that Councilmember Klitsky is absent.
Great, thank you. I am still recovering from my birthday celebration, so Mr. Jones, say my name, say my name.
All right, so I'm not seeing any, that I know of, any revisions on the current agenda. Is that correct?
Do we want to go ahead and do our deferral on ordinance 36543?
Yeah, I will so move indefinite deferral of the ordinance.
Second.
Wait, I guess I have a question. What's
Yes.
the purpose of the indefinite deferral?
There's several things, but one is the Lunar New Year is being taken up at the legislature this year to make it official. And then the two other holidays, I understand there are some contract negotiations with labor as to how those will play out. So all three are up in the air. So we will have no resolution before next year, the way we're going.
Okay.
So. It's been moved and seconded that ordinance 36543 be deferred indefinitely. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any noes? Abstention? That is deferred. Thank you all. I think that's it for tonight. On to the advanced agenda, Mr. Jones.
All right, so for the advance agenda of September 23rd, we'll start with the consent agenda items. Item number 1, this one will be briefed by Ryan Redding or Chief O'Berg.
Good afternoon. I am not Ryan Redding. So this is for a renewal of a value blanket for our uniform contract for our daily duty uniform, requesting an annual renewal of $125,000. Total cost would be $500,000 over the 3-year period. Questions?
Chief, just are you actually happy with this company, or were you all looking for another company to provide your uniforms at one point?
Council President, I'm not sure that honestly, I don't know that I know we've used them for some time. I think we have periods of time when we're very happy with the service and periods of time when we're frustrated, but I don't know that we were seeking any other outside contracts.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Chief. Now we have items 2 through 7 will be briefed by Dave Singley.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So the first item that I have is value blanket for the purchase of police jumpsuits through Galls, not to exceed $150,000 for the first year.
And my question is the same. Have you been happy with this company? Has your response ebbed and flowed about how quickly you get your jumpsuits?
Overall, we have been happy with the company. I know that sometimes there is a lag in getting the jumpsuits, but overall, we've been happy.
Is there other entity that provides the same level of service or product?
There are other companies that do provide police jumpsuits. I know we have looked at some other ones, but we've been happy with the Galls jumpsuits.
All right, thank you.
Okay, the next item I have is requesting acceptance of a grant through the Washington Traffic Safety Commission for a total of $215,000. This is a one-year grant beginning in October that will fund a full-time DUI officer salary and benefits, in addition to some training, equipment, and media contracts. It will be to provide training to enhance skills for officers in the area, including SPD officers in identifying and investigating impaired drivers. Yes, sir.
Is this an existing officer who will fill that role?
That is correct. It's an existing officer.
We're going to let you go on to the next one then.
Okay. So the next one is also a grant. This one is the Registered Sex Offender Grant. It's a grant agreement between the City of Spokane and the county to accept funding from the Washington Association of Sheriffs and Police Chiefs for our continued participation in the RSO Address and Residency Verification Program. We've consistently partnered on this and received RSO funding since 2008. This would fund $60,000 toward an existing SPD detective.
Questions? I think we're good.
So my next three items, I'm briefing on behalf of Shauna Ernst, who is out of town. So I'll do the best I can. The first one is for an Axon interview room system. So we currently partner with Partners with Families and Children to do our child forensic interviews. The system that the recording and interview rooms that they currently have are somewhat outdated, and it requires a lot of staff time for them to take that data and transfer it to SPD detectives. So this would upgrade their interview room to the Axon interview room system, which is the same system SPD uses. It would cover, this is paid for through the Burn JAG grant. The total cost is $81,303. That's the 5-year cost. That's the full system and installation, and then our TARU unit would provide training for their staff in the use of the equipment. The next one is Axon My90. So this one is also funded through the Burn JAG grant. This is a public-facing communication system. It integrates with our CAD and records management system. It can provide automated messages. It can also do internal and external surveying, should reduce the workload on our officers and support staff. This is actually a 2-year pilot program funded through the Burn JAG grant. The total cost is $97,194. Also through Axon, we are seeking to purchase 2 Axon Fleet 3 systems. These are video camera systems that would go in 2 of our vehicles. They come equipped with forward and rear-facing cameras. They also have forward-facing automated license plate reader systems. The intent would be to locate and recover stolen vehicles. We already had received Washington Auto Theft Prevention Authority grant. So the total cost of this would be $26,875. $25,000 of that would come through the WAPA grant, and the additional $1,875 would come out of TARU's existing software budget.
So these cameras would be permanently installed in 2 vehicles?
Yes, ma'am.
So they won't be rotated? Okay. And so those are identified, so those vehicles would just be in the police rotation of vehicles? Okay.
Our goal is to maximize their time on the street to get as many reads as possible.
All right.
All right. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
Did a great job for Shauna.
Yes.
We'll let her know.
All right, we have item number 8. This will be briefed by Terry Stripes.
Council President, council members, thank you. This was on your urban experience consent agenda, so this may not be the first time you've noticed it. You have 2 projects that are occurring in District 3. One of them is for 40 units, and one of them is for 213 units. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Terry. Item number 9, this will be briefed by Laz Martinez.
Good afternoon, Council President, Council members. This is a $54,000 renewal for 1 year out of a 5-year contract with a structure. We buy through them software licenses for a platform called Nutanix. And Nutanix is what allows us to create virtual servers. We have 76 servers here in our data center nearby, and we have 100 and more in our CCV data center. These 2 data centers are connected. In case there is a problem, we can move load from one or the other. That's basically what this contract is for.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Laz. Item number 10 was going to be briefed by Sarah Nuss, but she's not available. I believe this was briefed at the last public safety meeting. I don't know if there's any additional questions on that one. Okay. Then we have items 11 and 12 that will be briefed by Ariel Anderson.
Good afternoon, Council President, Council members. Both of these items have recently been briefed, so I'm really just here to answer any questions. Yes.
Well, yeah, just looking for the kind of background information on this. And I know Chris, our policy advisor, had renewed the request for kind of more of a legal feedback, I think, if I'm reading this correct. And so I'm just wondering where that all stands.
Are you, and I'm sorry,
are you the lack of an RFP with regards to allocating $1.2 million to VOA?
And I'm not sure that I'm familiar with that.
I got Councilmember Cathcart. You're on the next one. This is the Salvation Army 1-month extension for the track.
I thought,
okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
No questions on track. And then in terms of the VOA extension, I'm not familiar with the last email correspondence that Chris had sent, not readily. It's not coming to my mind. So if there are specific questions that I can go back and get answered, I'm happy to do that.
Chris, if you can paraphrase.
Yeah, I can paraphrase. It's just to understand better the procurement process for, and you're asking about item number 12 on VOA.
VOA.
Right? Okay. Understand better the procurement process for that. There are many ways you can get, out of competitive bidding in many circumstances that are permitted. We're not sure we understand which circumstances are being relied on, which part of the code. And so we've asked that legal confirm that the procurement process for that is compliant with our procurement rules.
Okay. So I'm happy to get more specific information, but to my understanding is that these are cost savings from the decommissioning of TRAC, and that in that ARPA, in the original ARPA RFPs that have gone out, that those monies were allocated towards homeless services, and so just that general.
Yeah. And just to be clear, I mean, my concern isn't purely process, although I think the process is important, but it's, when you're not competitively bidding, you're not providing the leverage to get the best value for the best service. And I can't say for sure that VOA is going to offer that. Maybe they will. They very well may, but I just can't verify that without a competitive process.
Sure. And Ariel, I know we were looking at modifying the resolution with some benchmarks over the next year for VOA. We had originally put in a date specific.
That's correct.
And I have not seen that yet.
So those benchmarks were attached to the original briefing that I had submitted via OnBase, and those will be, I think ideally we're just going to bake that in right into the amendment itself, along with the expectation that a quarterly update is provided to the Urban Experience Committee, and that will, have considerable oversight by the CHHS department as well. So.
Councilman?
Yeah, I think my hesitation with this is just, again, if we were able to save $1.2 million at TRAC, which is great, considering the the budget situation that we're in, right? And administration's doing a good job knocking down that $25 million, but 1.2 isn't nothing. I mean, that's more than 10% of the current deficit that we're facing based on the work the administration has done. And so 1.2 million, while this might be a noble cause, still might not be the best thing for us to do fiscally for the city. And so I think that's more my hesitation.
And I will comment, I know that there's just been some conversations about, do we want to wait to hear the plan that's coming forth on the 26th for the decommissioning of TRAC, I believe, that had said that would be presented to us. So we're a little hesitant to actually allocate monies till we have a bigger picture or a clearer picture of really how TRAC will be decommissioned and the funding that will follow wherever that goes going forward. So.
Okay, so in the context of the 620,000 or the decommissioning of TRAC as it relates to the maintenance of VOA for the next year, is that my understanding?
So for me, it's two things.
Okay.
So I just know that we're supposed to be having a presentation on the plan on the 26th. Conversation is maybe we want to wait till the 26th to really hear what the plan is before we vote on how we allocate these resources. So there's the 1 month extension for TRAC, yes,
correct.
But
Yes.
then the VOA is the other part for these funds. So just know that that's just that's out there in the atmosphere.
And I will make note of the fact that that should be touched on with the Hope House. I think part of that conversation at the end of September is to give credence to the fact that it is built into the SMC that we are to have a plan for inclement weather. And so that is what we had anticipated reporting out on with the RFI that has recently, I think it was last Thursday or Friday, that has gone out. And so we should have some good feedback by that time to present to council at the study session. So,
Anything else?
thank you.
Thank you, Aaron. Now we have item number 13. This will be briefed by Heather Page. Not Heather.
Not Heather.
You know,
No,
I'm
Heather. Hi.
batting at least 100 today.
My name is John Gamal. Hi, Council. I'm just here to see if there are any questions for the OPR 2023-1228, the Vets on North Lacey project. We're looking for approval of the contract. Great, thank you.
Perfect, thank you. We have item number 14. This is John Clapp coming down.
Hello, everybody. So this is an annual request that we make of council to accept HUD funding through the COC and distribute that out via subcontract. Any questions? Thank you.
All right, thank you, John. Now we have items 15 and 16. Both these items will be briefed by Melissa Morrison.
Good afternoon, Council. This is for the approval of the 2024 home and ESG grants from HUD. Any questions?
Perfect. Was that for 16 too? Sorry.
15 and 16.
Okay. Any questions? All right. Not seeing any questions. Now we have item number 17. This will be briefed by Clint Harris.
Council President, Council, the street department's seeking permission to enter a contract with Plow Ops or Neotrax to start electronic routing system so that we can move away from our paper system that we've had for forever. So this is a 5-year contract starting in October for $185,000 total.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Clint. Item number 18, this will be briefed by Dan Bowler.
Good afternoon. Item 18 is a proposed low bid contract with General Industries of Spokane Valley for the replacement of the 60-year-old underground 9th and Pine water booster station. The low bid was $2.89 million plus tax, to which we proposed to set aside a 10% administrative reserve. 4 other bids were received. The low bid was about $605,000. or 17% below the engineer's estimate. Work is expected to begin this fall, a minor amount of it, and mostly be done next year, being completed next fall.
How much did you say it was, Dan?
The overall cost, $2.89 million.
Thank you, Dan. Now moving into the legislative agenda. We do have a few special budget ordinances. The first ordinance is C36572. And I don't know who's going to be briefing this. Melissa?
Good afternoon again, Council. So requesting the special budget approval for $11,800,000 in the 1590 sales and use tax for affordable housing in Spokane for capital and service projects.
All right.
Any questions?
Thank you. Appreciate it. Next ordinance is C36573. This one will be briefed by Maggie Yates.
Good afternoon. This is for just over $32,000 of the Cannabis Tax Fund to fund a special assistant U.S. attorney position. It's an additional city prosecutor, but housed at the U.S. Attorney's Office to increase the prosecution of narcotics trafficking within the city of Spokane, and then also provide federal reentry services at the point of reentry.
And I think we may have answered this question, but their focus will be solely within the city limits, or are they going to be helping with a broader region?
You're correct. It's just within the city limits.
All right. Thanks, Maggie.
Thank you.
And we have ordinance C36574, and then this one is related to the consent item number 3 that Dave Singley briefed. Any further questions on that one? All right. Moving on to the resolutions and final reading ordinances, we have resolution 2024-0086 and 87. Both these items will be briefed by Terry Stripes.
Council President, Council, it's that time of year. I hate to say it, fall is arriving. So with the business improvement districts, both East Sprague and downtown, annually we update their assessment rolls. That hearing we're asking you to set for December 2nd. At that hearing, the 2 business improvement organization managers will come and present on what they accomplished this last year and what they plan to accomplish this next year for their ratepayers. Any questions?
So we raised the amount going into that East Sprague business district, correct?
Correct. Every year according to CPI.
Right. And how do they feel about the last increase? Because I know it was larger than what
it
we
was
normally.
larger.
How's that working out?
Amanda worked with them to make certain that they wanted to take the entire increase, and I'm not 100% certain, but I believe they decided to go forward that way. Okay. But Amanda can confirm that when she's back next week.
Okay. Do you guys have any feedback on?
No, just kind of wait to hear back from Amanda.
Yeah, I'll make certain she lets you know. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Terry. And then we have resolution 2024-0088, and I believe Caleb is going to brief this one. Yep.
Yeah, so City Council previously allocated $1 million of ARPA funding to support multicultural organizations. The ARPA team has awarded 9 community organizations that funding for a total of $900,000. So this resolution will allow us to approve all of those contracts together instead of coming back with each one individually. Questions?
Quick question. Did the American Indian Community Center apply?
They did not.
All right.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Caleb. Then we have resolution 2024-0089. All right.
Hi again, John Gamal, CHHS. This is the funding for the RFP that went out on May 29th for the 1590 and home ARP funding for the 8 applicants.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Then we have Resolution 2024-0090. Chris Wright.
Yes, Council, you remember I briefed us at committee. The resolution in the packet is a bare bones resolution that declares COPS a sole source provider for community-oriented policing services. We've been in discussion with the administration. Those discussions continue to perhaps go through a more prescribed process for confirming the sole source status of COPS. And I'm not sure if we'll have an amendment ready by Friday, but I'll be working through with the administration, see if there's interest in revising the resolution and seeing if any of you wish to sponsor that amendment. So.
Councilmember Bingle.
Do we need a couple-week deferral at all, or?
I wouldn't recommend it because the process I'm recommending is that the administration go through the procurement process and complete it by November 4th if possible. And then if the budget actually includes some money for community-oriented policing services, there'll be time to execute a contract, fund it, and have it ready by January 1. So I'd rather not see a deferral. So,
Councilmember Navarrete.
I'm kind of want to push for a deferral because I do have a couple questions on this. Number one is, where will we get data on how effective COPS are? I know from some constituents and even myself, when I show up at a cop shop, nobody answers. And other constituents have also relayed the same information, that when they go and want to, need assistance, nobody is in that cop shop. I'd also like to see all the money that they're receiving, how they are implementing it, how they're helping the communities that they're located at.
and I think those are all fair questions. And we've asked Jeff Johnson at COPS to provide some more detailed information on their finances and their metrics and performance. I was hoping to have that this week as well.
Yeah, a lot of that can be made available by Jeff. And I know he was here at the last committee and talked a little bit, but we can always have him come back. And I know he's offered to meet with council members individually as well. So.
All right. Thank you, Chris. Then we have Ordinance C36120, Eldon. It's back.
Good afternoon. We're still working on some form of an agreement that would satisfy the parking situation on that vacation. It's, I think we're trying to simplify it as much as possible. I know when we got the attorneys involved with it, it probably got a little more detailed than people would really like to see. So my next step is to see if we can't simplify it as much as we can on there. We've just got a few more terms and conditions, I think, that both sides can agree to right at the moment. So I'm still working on that one.
And I'll have to say, Eldon, I think this is a learning experience because this has been going on for a couple of years.
Four.
Yeah, 4 years trying to get this completed. So maybe we'll do something different when something like this comes around again. So.
Yep, that's probably the case. All right.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Eldon. Now moving into the first reading ordinances, we have Ordinance C36575 and C36576, both being briefed by Adam McDaniel.
I'm happy to just take these ones. We heard the ordinance about preservation of salvageable materials and urban experience. Worked with the administration, historic preservation office, members of the planning commission, some developers and realtors. Still kind of taking some feedback on this, but basically structures listed on the registry that are age 50 years or older, eligible for historic designations, would be required to maximize the preservation and the reuse of salvageable materials when the property owner seeks to demolish the building. This will really live under the Historic Preservation Office and their existing staff implementing the policy and kind of helping guide property owners and applicants through historic preservation materials.
And what's the part about the buildings that are not on the historic registration.
It's a good question. Mr. McDaniel, you want to kind of help bring that one? I thought it was funny, Councilmember Cathcart mentioned, to like, oh, well, does this include every building that's, 50 years old? And I mean, I'm not a stylistic expert, but some buildings obviously don't quite hit that threshold as we get into 2024.
And I'm not a historic preservation expert, but it's 50 years and older, and that would be eligible to be on the historic registry.
Right. And the amount of buildings that would hit every year, 5, 6, little handful?
A handful.
Yeah.
All right.
So we're going to continue to move forward with it as it is?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, and then on to rental registry. So this is the ordinance to streamline the process for waivers and registration fee for rental registry. And I would seek a motion to defer this to October 7th, still taking a lot of feedback regarding this ordinance from various stakeholders, meeting with landlord association and tenants to kind of modify this.
So moved.
It's been moved and second to defer.
Wait, no, nobody seconded.
Oh. Councilman Cathcart, question.
Yeah, first reading on October 7th or final reading on October 7th?
Final reading on October 7th.
So just deferred a week, basically?
So correct me if I'm, do we meet on Indigenous Peoples Day? Okay, so yeah, first reading on October 7th. So 2-week deferral.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you for clarifying that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any abstentions? Noes? Oh, is that Councilmember Klitzke's voice we heard?
What is that voice that came out of nowhere?
All right, thank you very much.
All right, now we have ordinance C36577. I don't know, is it Councilmember?
Yeah, I'll do this one. So this one basically just takes our sitting and laying laws on public sidewalks that we have implemented in certain portions of the city. Just expands it citywide. Once the grants pass decision overturned, the Boise decision allowed us to expand it citywide. And again, these are generally applicable laws. And so if it's good for one area, I think it should be good for the entire city. And so this just small adjustment just expands it citywide.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to say we are discussing this at the roundtables this week. It was part of the conversation in the spirit of keeping everything holistic that we've been talking about. I think I would make a motion to refer it back to committee like everything else, not killing it, but dealing with it in the process.
Councilman Cathcart.
Was that a motion?
There's a motion,
No.
I think.
Well,
I was throwing out for discussion, I guess.
Okay. I'll respond to that if I could. I would say again, this is not homelessness related in some of the others in the ways that some others are, because again, this is a generally applicable law, whereas citing of official sites cited specifically facilities dealing with the homeless, and again, this is a generally applicable law.
I would comment, Councilmember Bingo, that we are challenged with the expectations of even in the downtown core of this not being enforced. We want to expand it citywide, and I'm not saying it's not a good law, but just like some other laws, our community's expectation is like 100%, and we know with our capacity that will not be 100%. So I don't want to be saying we're going to be able to do something when we can't do it. I think that's disingenuous to our residents in the city. So at this point in time, I'd like to hear a little bit more about implementation of how this would even work going forward. Then I got Councilmember Dillon, and I'll come back to Councilmember Cathcart.
So if we're talking about deferring this back to committee, so that would be October 7th. We would hear this again, kind of round up some more time around implementation, enforcement, and how this connects with the feedback from some of the roundtables, other ordinances. I mean, is that something that you're comfortable with?
Well, I would say a couple things. First off, to Council President Wilkerson's point, if enforcement of the law is the reason why we should not implement a law because we can't enforce it, there's a lot of laws I think that we should remove at this point because there's a lot of laws not being enforced based on capacity issues, or at least that's the argument I hear. And so if we're not going to move forward with this one for enforcement, we should probably just remove the sit and lay laws altogether if it's an enforcement issue. But I don't think that's actually it. I don't want to defer it. I think it's, very straightforward. But if it helps anybody be more comfortable, sure, we can defer it for a couple weeks. I don't see, what will change much. So.
Oh, sorry, Councilman Cathcart, then back to Councilman Magellan. Thank you.
Yeah, just real quick. I think I'll save more of my comments for if we when we take this to a final vote. But in the meantime, I think the difference between downtown and the rest of the community, frankly, which makes this all the more important, I think, to expand, is downtown we've got wide sidewalks, we've got wider walking paths, you've got more options to detour around and whatnot. I've seen people laying on sidewalks next to Division, and we don't have really wide sidewalks next to Division, which you would kind of think you would, but we do not. And it becomes a major ADA issue, it becomes a safety issue, and I understand the enforcement piece, but if you don't have the tool, you can't call anybody to implement the tool. So it just, there's no option. And so I just think it's important to think about, and this was something that we had talked about, not citywide per se, but we did talk realistically about expanding this during the conversations around the Way Out shelter because of the immense amount of issues we were seeing on the sidewalks and rights of way in that area.
Councilmember Dillon.
Yeah, thank you. I think so. The example that you raised on Division, and I do think there is an option, and it's pedestrian interference. And I've been challenged with how the two overlay and complement each other because that is citywide. And when we look at the data, arrests, citations, it is exponentially higher, grown, far more than sit and lie has used. And I understand the argument. You have different tools. It's important to use the different tools kind of at your disposal. But I think the thing that I am just challenged with is how those two intersect and kind of complement each other with respect to this ordinance, because it does seem like, as I read this, they're certainly not in conflict, but how does that, again, kind of work to sort of Council President's point with the expectations versus the reality? Because I do, again, worry with sometimes the expectation of, I'm seeing this, why isn't this happening? And then on the back end, I'm like, well, was a complaint filed? Like, what did that conversation look like if an officer did an educational visit, or there was a citation, or if there wasn't a citation? So that was a long rant, but kind of trying to distill it all. My hope is that by putting this back into committee, we can get a little bit more of those answers, kind of pull in our new chief, and really get to the bottom of what it looks like around some of those expectations with enforcement and implementation.
Councilmember Zapone.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that was kind of the intent by doing this process with the roundtables, is both educating and understanding how these all play together, because as we've said, it's been historically very piecemeal doing these one at a time. I might recommend, we were meeting last week to talk about the next meeting of the roundtables, and we were talking about siting of essential facilities and protections. I don't know if we would be able to get to this at the next roundtable too, so it might need to come to the November committee, timeline-wise.
I'll just comment, again, very siloed, because we look at this law, but there are other effects. We don't talk about the courts, what municipal court looks like, and all those things that go down the pipeline, that we're setting up something that will impact other systems that we have no idea what that will look like. Systems that we already know are at capacity, and that's not saying, Councilmember, that we shouldn't enforce the law. Absolutely not. But we do have to operate in the realm of reality, that and the financial consequences of how we make laws that bring to bear on other systems that we're not there yet. And we haven't had any feedback really from community courts there are challenges. So Councilmember Bingle, then Councilmember Dillon, I think.
Yeah, sure. I would say I 100% would agree to a deferral if the purpose is that, well, we don't know how we're going to be able to enforce this. I will agree to a deferral to whatever date you want, okay, this year, to whatever date you want this year, so long as there's a list of other laws that are brought to bear that we should look at and repeal because we can't enforce them. If the purpose is, well, we can't enforce this and, you know, community expectations are high, but we can't meet those expectations, then I would say, let's look at a bunch of laws that are not being enforced and remove them all. And my counter argument to that would be, that's a terrible idea because those laws are good. Just because we can't enforce them based on call volume and things like that doesn't mean that the laws are bad or that we should repeal them. But if that's what we're going to do, if it's based on enforcement and our ability to enforce them, then I would ask this council, go ahead and defer it, but bring together a list, and it will be a long list of laws that we should repeal because we can't enforce them.
Councilmember Dillon.
Yeah, happy to look at the list. Not sure about taking.
Don't look at it, provide it.
Yeah, but provide it, but not sure about the scorched earth of repealing all laws that might be, but understand the point. It's well taken.
Logically consistent.
Yeah. But I do think bringing it back to October 7th, I think that is a finite date. And I think it does help move things along as part of this bigger picture, and will also keep us accountable for moving forward.
Councilmember Sapone.
I move to refer it back to committee October 7th.
Is there a second?
So that's Public Safety Committee, excuse me.
Yeah, I imagine that's where it started.
Yeah, second.
Councilmember Bingle.
I look forward to the list coming forward with this deferral to show all the different ways that laws that we are implementing that are good for you know, the order of the city and the protection of our people. I look forward to that list to be provided so that we can repeal all those.
Okay. Then move to October the 7th. I don't think I need a vote. So move to second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any noes?
No.
The ayes have it. That is
Excuse me,
deferred.
how many no's were there? Two. Okay, thank you.
Has deferred to the 7th. Thank you.
What were the ayes? What was the count on that?
5.
Aye. Councilmember Klitsky?
She was an aye.
I said aye.
Aye.
So 5-2 on that?
Yes.
Now we have ordinance C36578. I don't know if Andres is, you going to brief this?
Yeah, hello, Council. This is just the ordinance expanding the membership of the SHRC from 9 to 12, adding 1 adult position and 2 youth positions. Any questions on that? Cool. Thank you.
Thank you. And we have ordinance C36579. Spencer?
Good afternoon, Council. This was on the, I believe, on the consent agenda at the Urban Experience meeting. This is something we've talked about since last year when we solicited applications for amendments to the comprehensive plan last year. We signaled to the community that we expected there would probably be a pause on those applications this year as we're getting underway with our 2026 comprehensive plan update. So this is just the formal, I guess, action to indicate that we will not be accepting applications for comp plan amendments this year. We are underway now with our 2026 process, and for what it's worth, I've not had anyone reach out asking about submitting applications or what our timeline is, so we haven't seen interest. Hopefully we've been transparent enough and signaled enough that people know sort of what we've been anticipating.
Councilmember Cathcart.
But I think you had made some intimations, at least, that if there were some things that perhaps they could be baked into some of the broader comp plan work that's being done. Is there anything that's coming forward that way that might have otherwise been a comp plan amendment?
Not from private applicants, but yes, that is a possibility. If somebody came forward and said, "Hey, I've got this property and I've got this idea, and it would require some changes," we can pick that up in the 2026 comp plan update. So. It's not that there can't be changes made, it's that we're making really big changes right now, and we can fold things into that if we need.
Exactly.
Yep.
All right, thank you, Spencer. And then we do have one special consideration, and I don't know, Jackson, are you going to brief this, or Councilmember Simone? Jackson? Perfect.
Afternoon, Council. This is just the letter to state leaders on the shipment of nuclear waste through Spokane. Any questions on that?
Still as it was written the last time we saw it?
Correct.
Just have really quickly. The only thing that I would want to confirm here that I'd heard is that there is a processing plant currently at Hanford that allows the solidification before it gets transported. Is that correct? Did we confirm that?
It's my understanding that that is a possibility. Commissioner Waldriff told us that there is a facility that is capable of solidifying the waste beforehand, and it's also employed by union membered workers.
Okay.
So obviously that would be good for state employees, but.
Yeah, I think that would be my only potential addition to this, and just the first paragraph to kind of name that, because it, I think the letter's great, it makes sense to me, but knowing that there is that option, that would be a cost saver. It could be a benefit to labor, but also I think really address the concern about liquid nuclear waste, knowing that if it is caked, if it is solidified, poses such a significant less risk to the people of Spokane, where this will be shipping through.
Councilman Cathcart.
Yeah, and that goes to just my comment last time that I don't really understand the science, and so it's hard for me to, if it's less risk, does that mean there's no risk, and what kind of risk is it? What is the real risk if it's on a truck and the truck overturns? Is it at that pinpoint spot? Is there some radioactive that expands a few feet, a few hundred feet? I don't know the science, and to send a letter that's full of technical jargon makes me very uncomfortable without first having an opportunity to have a real conversation with an expert in the field.
Councilmember Dillon?
Oh, just to clarify, are you discussing the solidification versus
solidification is a one piece, but if we didn't solidify and it was just as it is, what is the danger of that? Is the danger only to the exact location of where maybe a truck overturns? Does it have an aerosol sort of effect or a gas effect that the radiation is just? I just don't know. I have no idea, and so I just would like to have a better understanding. I mean, I'm certainly concerned about having radioactive materials just floating through the city, but I also just don't understand.
Absolutely, and to your point, Councilmember, it's my understanding that there hasn't been an environmental impact statement that has been updated in the briefing that we had with Commissioner Waldriff and Commissioner Jordan. Jerry, the state legislature who brought this to our attention, said that a lot of the science has changed regarding radioactive impacts, particularly on women and children, because a lot of the science was based solely on male biology. And so the impact statement predates that.
Interesting. Okay.
Councilman Bingle.
And on this, so it's asking basically that they don't transport it here, they solidify it, or that we do an EIS, is that correct?
My read is that it would make the request to solidify it rather than transport it in liquid form. That's kind of the big ask. And then
But it doesn't ask for the economic impact statement, or not economic, environmental.
The NEPA SEPA, that's also part of it, that there's been little to no updating of the EIS. And we are encouraging them to do a full review of the processing and transporting the waste, given kind of the what we know obviously about radioactive exposure, but also that this has been a very kind of quick, very, very fast process. Oregon had rejected it getting transported down to, are they going to Texas, I believe? That's where it's being shipped to.
It's either Utah or Texas. I don't think they've finalized the contract
and
on
so now it's taking a different route up 395 through Spokane to Idaho, yes, and then down to Utah. so I think after the Oregon blocked it, I know a lot of the tribes came together, like Umatilla, and spoke out against it. This was a very, very quick pivot that, quite frankly, I think was done without a lot of consideration for how the city of Spokane would feel.
Thank you, Jackson.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And that concludes the advanced agenda for September 23rd.
Is there a motion to approve the advanced agenda?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and second to approve the advanced agenda. All those in favor for September 23rd indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Noes?
No.
Abstentions? I think that was 5-2, Ms. Fisher. 5-2, 6-1? Noes were?
you a no, Kath?
2 noes?
Okay.
Okay.
I voted aye.
6-1. All right. That concludes this meeting. Please join us at West Central Community Center this evening for our town hall meeting. We will see you there at 6 p.m.